I'm gonna go ahead and get you out here. So the first thing you need to do and you must do is put on your seatbelt, right? So put on that seatbelt. Next, I've secured the car. This car has a push to start, so I'm gonna put my foot on the brake and push the button. And then that is really nice. Now the car's starting up. I want to make sure everything is good, everything is safe. Okay, checking everything. Got my information center going. We had about a fourth of a tank of gas. The car is cold because I just started it up. RPM's about 1,000, so I want to be mindful of that. Our fuel is a little bit low, so I may have to go and get some petrol, so I probably should do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch spots so you can see what's going on. All right, here's the outside view. And whenever you're leaving a drive, you need to be looking left and right. So I released the park brake, and the car is engaged. I'm gonna roll out really slow down the bottom of the drive. And then whenever you're driving at night, you want to be mindful of cars, people, and things are hard to see at night. One of the things that I have with beginning drivers is how to see at night. You want to make sure your windshield is clean. You want to make sure you take your time and make sure you can see everything around you. Now, to be real with you, we are very low on fuel. So you're going to be going to a gas station with me, and I'm going to take you there. So we're coming up to a corner. I'm going to signal my intention. I'm making a right. You should be able to see the stop sign. So I want to come up and stop. You see the reflectors. That's pretty good. Some stop signs aren't like this. This is a pretty unique stop sign because it's got the reflectors. And the stop is huge, right? So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I'm going to be making a right turn. So I come up, I look left and right. I'm going to go ahead and go in the nearest lane and accelerate through my turn. Now, I'm not going to risk it and run the car almost empty because that will burn up the fuel pump, which is in the car. Ask me how I know. I had a good friend who did that. He kept running his car on E and he ended up having to pay a lot of money. So I'm going to get in the center turn lane. And then I will be getting some petrol. So I'm yielding for these vehicles. And then when it's clear, I'll be making a left turn. The gas tank is on my side. I have a gap. I'm looking. And then I'm going to go up very slow. And being mindful of everything. A lot of stations like this, and this is a good teachable point, this is a well-lit gas station. You can see everything. This is a safe gas station to go to. There are not people around who might come up on you, ask for money, try to pump your fuel. So this is a really good teachable moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in park. I have a key fob with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it running. The car will not be able to go anywhere. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. That's the safe thing to do. Gotta push and hold the button. All right, I got petrol. Go ahead, switch. I got petrol. So that's a good feeling. I did not want to pretend and lie to you guys. I wanted to be real. My fuel was very, very low. So got gasoline. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door and put on my seatbelt. So I'm at probably a little bit less than a half a tank. In the United States, where this particular station is 399.9 for a gallon of petrol. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the push start. I got that set. I have my gas. Let's see exactly where I am. Ooh, I'm at a half a tank. That's pretty good, so I feel good about that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and switch screens so you can see what's going on. All right, outside view. So you gotta be careful in gas stations, and I'm gonna pull out to the right. I'm deliberately gonna go out so you can see the traffic, and we are the secondary road. So we will wait. Some drivers will be nice and let you in, some won't. I'm turning on my right turn signal so people have an exact idea. There's a lot of traffic here. So I'm just gonna wait and be patient, and I wanna model that and give you a real life view. So I need to get in the middle lane where that beautiful Corvette is, this Durango is, so I'm just waiting. And I might have to wait for the next light, but that's okay. If you're not patient, you're gonna end up putting yourself in danger, and it's not about that. The things I wanna show you, because I'm a state certified instructor, are real life, and I'm just gonna be patient, going up to the edge and waiting for traffic. And that's what I wanna show you, a real life perspective of real driving. I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm always gonna be honest with you. Okay, so now I can get into the middle turn lane, and I'm good. It's almost a full moon. You know what that means. It means it could be crazy. All right, so I'm in my lane, I'm chilled, I'm waiting. I'm just gonna relax. Add a little bit more than a half tank, that's good. RPMs are about 500. Mile per hours are 0 because I'm not moving, obviously. So my fuel range is 215 miles. So I got 4 gallons. No, 5 gallons. And no, I got 4 gallons. So I have a 215 mile fuel range, and that's decent. But once I get moving, that could change. So you hear the blinker blinking. Some people like that, some people don't. I'm in the middle. You heard the car start too. It's got an auto start. Dang, someone's trying to race. But typically, it's almost 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not too late to drive. Most students with a graduated license have to be in at almost this time, because we don't want a lot of young people out driving and getting hurt. And then I'm clear. They're flying. That was that guy in that Corvette up there, or lady. Ladies drive nice cars too. All right, so I'm cruising at about 45. And on this straightaway, a lot of people drive fast. So I'm just looking left and right, looking for deer, looking for cars that'll come out. And just trying to maintain good speed. I'm cruising about 50 miles an hour. We're not trying to race tonight. We're trying to be safe out here, be consistent. And I do recommend that every now and then you listen with your radio on so you can hear the car. What does the motor sound like? What do the tires sound like? Does the motor sound a little different? Do the tires sound different? Also, this vehicle does need tires before the end of the year, before we have snowfall. So I'm definitely going to show you that, because I don't feel really secure in this vehicle in the snow. I've already told the other client that, so now I'm squeezing my brakes, I'm just taking my time. They're in the middle lane, I'm going to proceed. And you notice it's funny, that person in the Corvette, They were flying up ahead, and guess what? We're just cruising, and we've caught up to them. Now, this is not a race vehicle by any means. And you know what's funny? We have not went 4 miles, but now my fuel range is at 209. Good headlights do make a difference. You can really illuminate or see, and it's called visual acuity. This is when you're able to see things very clearly. And every 2 years as an instructor, I have to have a physical examination and a background check. So I'm full support of that. Your uncle, your driving instructor, is good to 2025, August of 2025. So that's a good feeling. I'm just scanning the intersection, looking ahead. You have to know where bars are, clubs are, people are out drinking. It's Saturday, 9:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. People are out getting lit, drinking. So you want to be that defensive driver. And I always come from that perspective. So I need to get over to the middle lane. I'm going to turn on my blinker, right about now, and squeeze my brake. And I'm looking ahead. And I'm going to wait for this traffic. This guy or lady's just downshifting. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go up real easy on this driveway. This car does have an electronic gas pedal, so it feels kind of spongy and weird sometimes. If you've ever been in a car that has auto stop, where the motor stops, this feature has been enabled, so I guess the other instructor had people out in this. It does do that. It kind of catches you off guard sometimes. If this is bringing you value, get us a thumbs up. We're talking about night driving. I had to go get fuel because the car was on E, and I did not want to lie to myself or lie to you and pretend I'm out driving, and then I run out of fuel, you know. So $20 got me 4 gallons because gas is almost $4 a gallon here in the U.S. And I'm in the Midwest. You know, how much is fuel where you are? And I know a lot of my brothers and sisters are in the UK, all over the world. I really appreciate you guys. Canada, New York, Texas, this blessed. Night driving can also be very relaxing. I've talked to a lot of students and they do enjoy it. So I don't want to overturn and hit the curb. You can see that. If I hit the curb, I could damage the vehicle.
How can I help you?
Hi, I have a carry out for Myles.
Pull up, please.
Thank you. Always are courteous. And going through drive-thrus is really a good indicator of you and your maneuverability. Going through drive-thrus, going through gas stations. Because you will have to go through a drive-thru. You will have to go in through to a car wash. I have a good video on that, and you need to definitely take a look at it. But that's overall getting your car square. If you're too close to the left, you're going to hit the pole or hit the building, which is no good. If you're too far out, you won't be able to reach those small doors where people pass the food through and you pay. You only learn some of these things with your parents. I try to show you real life so you really know what's going on. And the more real life I can show you, I believe the better you're going to be as a driver. And you have to get gas, so you can't pull too far away from the pump. You have to get gas, so you can't pull too far away from the pump. You have to go through a car wash, so you have to put your car in neutral. If you don't, you'll damage your car, your transmission. You have to be able to maneuver through small parking lots. Some of the tutorials that I've done actually show you how to drive through the signs, doing figure eights where you're turning hand over hand into the turn, you're turning hand over hand out. That's extremely important. Now my fuel range says 194. So it said 209 when we left. I have not driven almost 10 miles. So sometimes your fuel range is not accurate and you want to wait a few minutes until the levels settle down. And if you do take your foot off the brake, the car will roll forward. So in this case, I just put it in park. I think the good thing and the value you're going to get from me, I'm going to try to show you to the best of my ability, good driving perspectives, night driving, driving in heavy traffic, how to park. And this will help all drivers. A beginning driver is someone with less than 10 years of experience. So if you're 16, that's 26. If you're 18, that's 28. If you're 20, that's 30. If you're 34, that's 44. And there's no right or wrong time. A few years ago, we had COVID, and that shut down everything. So what did I do as an instructor? For the first few months, nothing. And I was very worried about income. Then we started going remote. And I learned how to teach remote. I learned how to do driver's education remotely. That was a good development of my skill set. I'm still doing remote driving education where I go online and I teach the class, and then we do driving on the weekend. And a lot of people, for convenience sake, like that remote experience because you get a chance to be set up at home and be comfortable. You get a chance to teach students in a group setting. You do have to have good equipment, a good camera, a good webcam, a good computer, a lot of storage. I have those things. You need to have good PowerPoints. I have those things. I have custom driver's ed games. I look at different material to help my students learn. And this has really helped me become a better instructor because I've taught in person for over 20 years. But when you teach online, you have to really engage your students and help them grow and teach them those fundamentals. And that is extremely important, where you're teaching someone and you can lose the interest of someone very quickly. And there are a lot of great instructors out here. I try to develop my skill set to help people. And you see me looking around because cars are coming around really fast. You know, people do pop up between cars, so I don't want anyone walking up on me. Obviously, this is more of a urban, turn on this other light. This is more of a urban setting. And in the cities, it's a lot more people. There's a lot more things going on. And I've lived in also a country setting too. But I think the good drivers of today and tomorrow will have a good sense of driving in the city, driving in the country, really having great speed control, and then that will allow you to be successful in the UK, Toronto, the metro areas in the United States. There are a lot of people who want to learn how to drive but can't get into a program because it's very expensive and it takes a lot of money to get into a driver's education program. A lot of people wait until they're 18, and then you go to the Secretary of State, you get your TIP, or temporary instruction permit, you take a test, you take a medical exam, you take an eye test. Then if you pass your test, you get a temporary license. That's what a temporary permit, temporary instruction permit. And then you can drive with someone over 21. You should be making right turns, left turns, merging on expressway, parallel parking, going in downtown areas, making 10 right turns, 10 left turns. I try to be as thorough as possible and really give you a real perspective of what's going on. And you make really good turns. After you make those good turns, then you need to go out on the road where you're pulling out of a driveway, you're coming down to the bottom, you're looking left, you look right, and you have to learn how to come out in traffic. It's called waiting for a gap. That's a space. And then you pull out, and then you have to learn to get your speed up. Always keep your turn as short as possible, because if you turn in the wrong lane, that's grounds for failure. Most road testers have a script that they follow. They're going to take you in a residential area. They're going to take you into perhaps a downtown area. You're going to have to merge on the expressway. And I do explain those things. And it's super important that you feel comfortable. A lot of people have anxiety because they just don't practice enough on right turns, on left turns. And left turns are the most dangerous because you're going to have people turning and going across you. So you have to be able to yield and wait. And if you go too far up into the middle, you're going to be under the light and then you won't see. And if you don't go up far enough, you're going to turn short. And when you make your left turn, you're going to hit a car head on. I've been in both situations before, have not been in any accidents. I think it's just feeling comfortable. If you feel comfortable, you're going to be more successful. If you feel rushed, then you won't do as well. So we're going to go ahead and move up, put my foot on the brake, send D for drive, and you're going to see me move up, not too close. Good, and now I'm going to put it right in park. And you can see the bottom of the driveway. And you gotta look. A lot of beginning drivers just don't look. And when you don't look, you're gonna hit a curb. And you gotta be aware of what's going on all times without being stressed, overloaded. And that comes with experience. Experience is the best teacher.
Hey, Myles.
Hi.
21 here.
How are you?
Good.
Hey. Okay.
Sign there for us, son. You want a copy of your receipt?
No, I'm good.
How you been? Good?
Really good. I see you've been working hard.
Yeah, working, waiting for MJ to get out of the pen.
Uh-oh. Okay. Is it 3021?
Yep.
Thank you.
My dear. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.
And it's all about relationships, as you can tell. All right. So I'm going to move down to the bottom of the driveway. And then it's clear, and I'm going to make my right turn. I'm going to go right into the first lane. So I'm looking ahead, just taking my time. A lot of beginners start waiting for the light to change. If you wait for the light to change, then you're going to end up getting caught by the light. The white line to the right is the edge line or fog line. Most industrialized countries should have some type of pavement marking. I've been doing a lot of research on driving. So this tells me I can make a lane change to the left or right because I have a broken white line. And it's incredible that these pavement markings are all over, everywhere. Just scanning, I see the truck to my left, but I'm also looking ahead because I have a green in my favor. But it doesn't mean anything. People will just turn right in front of you. I'm looking ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and make a lane change. You see me. This is an inside view today. Mirror, turn signal, blind spot. And then I'm good. You remember what I said when we left? We had about 209 miles fuel range. We're down to 189. And I have not traveled 10 miles. So that goes to show you that this fuel range is not always correct. So if you're out there driving, you need to make sure you have fuel in your car. You may think you have 20 miles, but then you have 5, and then you're going to run out. I'm keeping my space. I'm actually losing a little speed because I don't want to tailgate this vehicle. So the speed limit is 50. They're at 40. So really slow with the blinker, really slow getting over. So they're getting tired. You see how that happens? If you follow a car that is under 10 miles an hour, that could force you to almost run a light because you're like, why are they going so slow? There's that auto shut off again. And by you looking at this intersection, you really understand how dangerous it is. There are people who are not going to use blinkers. There's a semi-truck making a left turn to my left. There are cars that will cut in the right lane, cut in the wrong lane. So it's really about learning and observing. And I try to speak from a defensive driver mindset because I think that's important. Once you learn how to drive, then you have to learn how to be a defensive driver, watching out for other drivers, making sure you're safe. I look left and right. Let's take off really fast. Then there are a lot of areas in the country. I've seen areas that have worse pavement markings. So I need to get in the middle lane. And just squeeze my brake. And then I have to yield for these cars. Just I was talking about that space, that gap. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and there's some big surprises coming. Bye, guys.